What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 4 of the full 200. Today, I am with my good friend and fellow hockey lover, Nathan Aunger. What's going on,
Well, Ross, as a Sens fan, it's been better. Yesterday was one of the darkest days since we traded Eric Carlson back in 2018.
man? Yep,
So it's been a real whirlwind, but always go Sens, go forever.
yep. Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy day. Like, honestly, in my opinion, I know, we were hearing that, chances are, Brady could get traded, but, to me, it was just out of nowhere. We
I
didn't
was
hear
shocked.
reports, nothing. It
Well,
just kind of happened.
a little bit of background where I was before the trade broke. I was at my grandparents, on the lake, really nice day, beautiful day, with my grandfather who made me a Sens fan. We're both in the hot tub. We get out. I check my phone. My phone's blown up. And I'm like, what happened? Someone, something happened? Whatever. And I
Yeah.
look and I just see a text from you, dude, Brady got traded. And I'm like, no. And I look, and sure enough, it's Florida. And all the whole rest of the night, I kept saying, I can't believe he's gone. Like, especially to Florida. I should have seen it coming. I never
Yeah.
thought he would get traded to Florida. I didn't.
Yeah, I know it's crazy enough that he even got traded, and then to
I
your
know.
point, of course it's Florida, of course it's Florida, it's just
Mm,
crazy, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, it was just crazy, it was super unexpected and
yeah.
out of the blue, but here we are, and in my
Mhm.
opinion, I think the Suns got a pretty decent return, all things considered.
Yeah, we could definitely get into the hall in a little bit. But for me, the hall was not the first thing I thought about. I saw what we got, and
Yeah,
the hockey brain analyst fan in me was like, and then Tyson Lawrence. We can get so many different players at this pick.
yeah,
What if this player falls? But then I'm at the same time, this is our captain.
yeah,
This is the guy since I was 13 years old cheering for in the darkest days of Sens fandom. He was who we had. He's
yeah,
who I had throughout all the years. I'm from Toronto, hearing about it from Leafs fans. I'm like, well, we still have Brady.
yeah,
He's our captain. He's my captain. And to see him go like this is so disappointing, and it's really unfortunate. He could have been we'll get into all this, but he could have been the next Daniel Alfredson,
yeah,
and
yeah,
instead he is now public enemy number one in
yeah,
Ottawa.
yeah. So with that being said, we all know what happened on the island when John Tavares left.
Yes,
Is Brady going to get the same treatment?
yeah, I know. We were talking a little bit about this yesterday. I'm firmly believing that it'll be just as bad, if not worse. I think it's worse. I
Yeah.
think Brady, as we now know, requested a trade, as
Yep.
reported today.
Hmm.
He forced Ottawa to only trade him, basically, as Steo said in his press conference today, just to Florida,
Yep.
division rival, and he turned his back on the team. So Tavares has spent years not making the playoffs. They made it the one year. He was
Yeah.
the only guy. They were kind of stuck in no man's land in the island
Yeah.
there. I know they just made the playoffs and they had won that series, but still, they were kind of in a weird spot. The Sens have just back-to-back playoff appearances, back-to-back disappointing playoff appearances, but this team was really good. When healthy with great goaltending, the Sens were a top 10 team in the league. Analytically, we could have been even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
And he turned his back on us. He decided, as we're calling him, Trady Kachuk. He betrayed his team and went to Florida to play with his brother.
Yeah. I don't know.
Unfortunate.
It's crazy. And yeah, I mean, like you said, I just can't believe, I know there was the one report, or I guess it's not a report because, he said it himself, but a few months back when he just, completely shut down the trade rumors and he's like, I want to win here.
He's done since he's been here. Say, I want to win here. I
Yep.
want to win here. In the Amazon documentary, he said, I want to make my own legacy
Yep.
here. And you know what he does? He does the exact opposite. He goes to falls in
Yeah.
his little brother's shadow.
Yeah.
He's too big of the moment. He's too afraid of the moment. Anyways, I don't want to get too off track here. I want to keep it hockey analyst
Yeah.
style. But as a Sens fan, I've seen the reactions from Sens fans on Twitter today. Talked to my dad, talked to my grandfather, talked to all the Sens fans I know, and
Yeah.
it's just, we're sad he's gone. But we noticed his play drop off.
Yeah.
We saw after, the reports have come out after the Olympics, he wasn't the same. I
Yep.
noticed. I noticed in the playoffs, he had 0 points.
Yeah.
His one thing he did was fight Jordan Stahl on the first faceoff, and all he did was hype up the Carolina fans.
That was it. Yep.
That was it.
Yeah. Now, and you briefly mentioned the Olympics there, and that's something I kind of
Mm-hmm.
want to get into.
Yes.
So, and I want to get back to the Brady trade later on, and I just want to talk about the actual package and all that. But yeah,
Well,
brought up the
yes,
Olympic
but this
thing.
is this is a big
Yeah.
context.
So Larkin. Okay, it was
Mhm.
reported, Red Wings missed the playoffs again. Larkin wants out. Okay, and we know like that is blatantly the captain quitting on his team, and it's kind of shocking Brady got traded before him, in my opinion. But my question, I guess, is
Yeah.
I know it's kind of out of the blue, but if Canada beats the U.S. in the gold medal game, are things different in those players' mindset?
For Brady, I don't think
Brady
so.
and Larkin.
Brady. So I'll talk to. I can. We'll get into for Larkin. I first of all, I think what Brady is doing is worse than what Larkin's doing. Detroit has
Yep.
missed the playoffs since
Yes.
every year since 2016,
Yes.
2015, 16 was their last year,
Yeah.
and they pettered out in 5 games
Yeah.
against Tampa. They are going nowhere. They are a
Mm.
lost franchise. I get why Larkin wants out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've not. Steve Eiserman has not done a good job building around him. Brady,
No.
this is the
No.
best the Sens have been. They have so many
Hmm.
young pieces, which we'll get into,
Yes.
and he's just turning it back. I think it's terrible. But I think if Canada wins that, I still think the desire for at least for Brady and for Larkin to return back to the States is there in some ways. I do.
Yeah. 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 That's fair. I don't know. It feels, especially in another guy in Connor Hellebuck, who we could,
Yes.
is starting goaltender, probably the MVP of that game, if we're being
Yeah,
honest,
that
aside from
game.
maybe Hughes. Um, these are three guys that want out. Two of them play in Canadian markets. One of them already got traded. Larkin's most likely probably will gonna get traded.
Larkin's a bit different being in Detroit,
Yeah,
obviously, but it's still the same sentiment.
same
That
sentiment.
USA
Yep,
group chat we've all heard
yep,
about
yeah,
is the biggest case of tampering I've ever seen.
yeah.
It's ridiculous. And
It's
like,
just
who's
yeah,
next?
yeah. And even if you want
Is
to go back a little further, like Quinn Hughes, right?
Lynn
He was the
Hughes.
captain of the Canucks. Like I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just interesting how like all of these guys from same American team, like I don't want to say quitting on their team, but um, they're not.
Forcing their way out.
Yeah, exactly. They're forcing their way
It's
out. Yeah.
becoming it's becoming NBA levels of insane the amount
Yep.
of potential the players have. This
Yep.
like it's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
And which American player is next? Is Matthews next?
Yep. Yep.
We've heard it. Is Hellebuck
Mm.
next? We don't know.
Is
And
Hughes
like
next?
I it's
Jack
it
Hughes.
yeah. But like what's are these players gonna move around to
Exactly.
wherever?
We don't know.
And like the Canadian thing, I think that this is going to lead to I was watching the Stales press conference today, and a reporter asked, "Does this change who you draft Americans high up?" And he gave his answer.
Yeah.
But I would say if Chase Reed's American, second overall, if you're Vancouver, do you worry about that? As
Yeah.
he's American, do you worry about that?
Yeah.
I know I would if I
Yeah.
was the city
Yeah.
ends out in Vancouver.
Yeah. And it is an interesting point because again, like if it's almost becoming a pattern at this point where, and again, like I know some guys like Larkin, we keep bringing him up, but it's a different because he's in the American market, but still like I don't know, there's just it's something changed for me at that
The
pick.
no trade list, which
Yeah.
we'll get into when we let's get into that.
Yeah.
Larkin's three teams were Minnesota, Vegas, and Carolina, if I was correct.
I believe so, yes.
And Florida in there too. I think it was another
Yeah.
3 or 4 team
Again,
trade
what's
list.
new?
And Brady's trade list, purportedly,
The
Minnesota,
exact
Vegas,
same.
Carolina, and Florida.
Yeah.
And Stales hinted today it was always Florida. But
Yeah.
still, it's those 4 teams.
Yep.
It's utterly insane. And again, we talk Larkin. I think Larkin, what he did was a jerk move, was him
Hmm.
betraying his team, was him
Yeah.
quitting on his team. All of that's true, but I think what Brady has done here is worse.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that for sure.
Is
Um,
worse.
yeah. So let's get into the actual trade a bit here.
Yeah,
So
100%.
obviously Florida, the only piece they got was Kachuk. Um, I assume that's probably all they were really even interested in to begin with. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but again, the sense so the big piece, ninth overall, in my opinion, that's a great piece for them.
Uh-huh.
The 25th overall, again,
That's a piece.
a good piece. Future first down the line. I know,
2029.
yeah, I know it's Florida, but the roster is getting a little bit older. So we could see that could be a decent pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then another second. So they essentially got let's say fourth first round picks because we don't know what that second's going to be yet. But
Yep,
still, they got four high end picks for
they did.
Brady Kachuk.
Yeah, the Sens made out decently with how little leverage they were in.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
got out with those picks. And like reportedly, Stales was after a roster player. He wanted
Mm,
Lundell. He
yeah,
wanted Carter Verhaeghe, and Florida didn't budge. Which
yeah,
obviously, ideally, if you get one of those guys, you win more. But
yeah,
with these picks, the Sens can do whatever. I mean, it's reportedly we're going to package them to get better talent now,
yeah,
which I like. But Florida in 2029, like you said, the team's getting older.
yeah,
Barkov's getting older. Ekblad's getting older. Who's going to play goalie?
yeah,
That
exactly.
pick
Yeah,
could be a lot harder. The pick is top 10 protected,
yeah,
which isn't great, but there is that potential there.
yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, ninth overall is very exciting. Either you stay and you pick, this is a really
Mhm.
exciting draft.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Honestly, I've been not. I'm usually on. I usually do a lot my draft scouting and stuff from my own personal time, but this
Yeah.
year I haven't done it because the Sens will pick till 32.
Yeah. So
Now
there
I
was
gotta get
never a
on it.
need. Yeah.
Now I
Yeah.
gotta get back on it.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, like
Oh,
I would say the one thing about this draft, in my opinion, it seems like it's very, aside from Stenberg and McKenna, maybe you could throw Malhotra in there. It's very defensive heavy. Like there's a lot of good defense
yeah,
in this draft.
and I don't want the Sens if we pick at ninth to pick a defenseman.
Yeah.
Last 2 years, you pick Logan Hensler. You pick Carter Yakimchuk, who
Yep.
Yakimchuk looks really good. Hensler took a step back this year, but
Yep.
he's still good. Your forward prospects are non-existent. You don't have any.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And
So
then
I really
again,
hope.
yeah, like sorry to cut you off, but you already have probably, in my opinion, a top five defenseman in the league in Jake Sanderson. Like he is that
I
good.
agree.
He's that guy. And like you said, Hensler, Yakimchuk, Shabbat. I mean, he's still good. Again, yeah, probably a forward
Yeah.
would be the best bet.
But what I think is, I don't think the Sens are picking with that ninth pick. I think within the next few days,
Yeah,
we see a trade. I think Jason Robertson's name's been floated out there. I'm
yeah,
a bit more skeptical when it comes to that. Just there's other reports from like Elliot Friedman and stuff saying that coming to Ottawa might be a bit tricky. But like I know the Sens are big game hunting. They didn't have the picks before. A guy like Mason McTavish is a guy they've talked about. Jordan Kyrou is a
yeah,
guy they've talked about. A guy I would kind of like to see maybe is Alexei Lafreniere. He's a
hmm
got no kid, so I would love to see. Those are all the different options.
yeah,
Honestly, for me though, I would love to see us stay in the pick at nine. We don't have any. We need that young talent,
yeah,
and
yeah.
obviously the Sens is young, but we haven't actually picked a top. We haven't picked a forward in the draft in the first round since Tyler Boucher in 2021, and
And look at
it's one of the
that.
worst 5 years.
Yeah,
Let's get some young. Let's get some new blood in there.
yeah. I feel like in the current position the Suns are in with that pick, like if I were them, I would only move the ninth pick if it were part of a package for, like you said, like a Jason Robertson. Like I don't know if I'm moving that ninth pick for a McTavish or a Kyrou. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Also,
Yeah,
McTavish scares me off a little bit. Same with
exactly.
Kyrou.
Yeah,
A trade I've seen some Sens fans float around out there is Matthew Nyes,
yeah. Okay.
which I don't mind getting him. I don't want to give the Leafs the ninth overall
Yeah,
pick after having the first.
and
I
yeah,
I don't want to do that, but I
yeah,
want us to get some blood in there, and I think the
yeah.
ninth overall pick would be a really good player. Or if they can get Jason Robertson and he
hmm
wants to stay here, that's your guy.
Yeah. But
That makes
again,
your team
to
instantly.
the point, like, is Matthew Nyes even worth the ninth overall pick? Like, I know that may be crazy to
I don't know.
say, but like,
Well,
if
we
we're
saw
look,
what Montreal was willing to give up for him, apparently, but like,
yeah,
it's not. That's the thing.
yeah,
Like, who is worth the ninth? Like, including that high of a
yeah.
pick?
It's just
Who's available?
it's a weird spot because like Brady got that haul, but like in my mind, it's like I don't know if the Suns want to give up the ninth for Nyes, but like last year, virtually like Nyes and Kachuk were almost the same player. Like they were
Points
similar
wise.
hits, points. Like I don't know. It's interesting to see what they do with it, honestly.
Yeah. Brady, yeah, I think Brady's name value alone carried a lot
Yeah, for
there.
sure.
But Brady, yeah, I have so many thoughts about that. Him as a player, his as a
Yeah,
captain. He's really he was my favorite. He was one of my favorite players. Obviously, there's all
yeah,
the stuff with him in the Olympics, his
yeah,
political stuff, his podcast, all that. But
yeah.
that aside, he was a player and he was a really great ambassador for the team and the
hmm
community, very involved. And now he's just killed all goodwill.
Yeah,
People are already wary about him. Like I know I was talking to my grandfather about
Hmm.
my grandparents are season ticket holders. They were talking about how
Yeah,
their friends were starting to sour on him, like, and a lot of Sens fans were too, with how he's been acting in the
yeah,
last little bit. So it's
yeah,
tough for sure.
yeah. It'll be interesting how things unfold for both the Senators and Kachuk in Florida. I feel like not to sour your mood maybe more, but Kachuk being in Florida now, he doesn't really have to be the main guy, right? So we'll see if that
That might
elevates
help
his
him.
game or what happens. I don't know. It'll be interesting. But yeah,
Mhm.
so in terms of how things are going to unfold in Ottawa, um, they need to find a new captain. So,
Yes,
in my opinion, there's a few names. Um, and I don't really watch too much Sens hockey, obviously, probably not as much as you. But I'm kind of hard stuck on one guy who I think should be captain.
I
But
wonder if we have the same guy.
I
There's
feel like
two
we
players that
probably
I come to
do.
mind.
I feel like we probably do, but I want to hear yours first, and then I'll see what mine is.
I will give my two answers who I think it's between.
Okay.
There's the one I think. So first, Thomas Chabot is the obvious one
Mm,
of the options.
that's
He
a
has
guy I was
been
thinking of.
he longer than Brady stuck around. He was the
Yep.
first player to sign here.
Yeah.
He's a great ambassador for the team.
Mhm.
He played those insane minutes. He's such an important piece. He's very underrated
I
because we
agree.
have Jake
I
Sanderson, who's a
agree.
top five, top 10 defenseman.
Yeah.
When he went down, Chabot was needed. And Chabot, people forget how good of a skater he is, how
Yeah.
with the right partner, which he's rarely had, how good of a player he can be.
Yeah.
And I think he'd be a great fit.
Hmm.
However, for me, this is one player's team now. It's Stutzla's team. Give it to the German.
Yeah.
He is the leader. He is the guy. He is the player. It's kind of like when we think about Toronto with
Yeah.
Tavares as the captain and Matthews. It's Matthews'
Hmm.
team.
Yeah.
They look at Stutzla is the one they look skating around like crazy. For Matthews, who was scoring 50, 60 goals. And Tavares was a good player, just like how Chabot's a really
Yeah.
good player.
Hmm.
But Stutzla's is now the heart of the team. It's his team. Him and Sanderson. It's their team.
Yeah.
So I say Chabot. I love Chabot. I think he's the most deserving. He's the one who stuck around, but
Yeah.
I think Stutzla, it's his team.
Yeah. And you know what? Like to your point, it's almost like the exact same situation with Toronto. I know like obviously Tavares didn't leave or get traded, but
Of
he,
course.
he stepped down. And honestly, like I was a big advocate. I'm like, okay, we need to make Morgan Riley the captain. Like this guy's been here
Yep.
since like the freaking Phil Kessel era. Like that's how long he's been here. He was on
Yep.
like it's just he got drafted in 2012. This is like we're talking
Yep.
14,
Brian Burke
14 years
drafted
later.
him.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's how long this guy's been around. I'm like
Yeah.
Captain Morgan, like right now, and then
Mhm.
it's Matthews, and I didn't really think that was going to happen, but like you said, it was Matthews' team, and he's a captain. And in my opinion, maybe it hasn't worked out so great on the Leafs end, but in terms of Matthews, like I mean, this guy captain America the gold medal, right? So
Yeah. And I think with Matthews, there's a lot of other reasons. I'm a Leafs hater
yeah,
through and through. I
yeah,
hate the Leafs more than most. I think the failings of the Leafs has gone. Matthews, Berube neutered Matthews like
yeah.
crazy.
Oh, 100%.
And
Yeah,
I could see Jim Hiller doing this. We can get into Jim Hiller if we want to, but I could see Jim Hiller doing the same thing.
yeah,
I think Matthews, but at the end of the day, I think the sentiment that is Matthews' team, just like how people gave Crosby the captaincy at age 19 or
yeah.
McDavid or
Exactly.
all these other players, is
Yeah,
because it's their team. They're the
exactly.
heart and soul.
Yeah, yeah. And even like to your point of the young guys, like Gabriel Landeskog, youngest captain in
Youngest
history,
captain.
and
Yeah, until McDavid.
yeah, and it didn't really work out for the first few years. That Colorado sucked for a while. They really
People
did.
forget that 2016-17 year, they
Yep,
had, I think, 52 points, 48 points.
yep,
They were bad. Then they got
and
Kale McCarr.
yeah. So again, I was gonna say they didn't get the first pick, but they got a pretty good player anyways. So
They got Kale McCarr.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just I like I didn't really think about the Stützle pick too much. But now that you bring up those points, it definitely makes more sense because again, like just looking at it from like a longevity standpoint and how long he's been there, like Shabbat seems to be the guy, but I think Stutz is a solid pick too.
I think it's interesting you bring up the Morgan Riley example because it's
Yeah,
actually, I think, almost it's very similar
yeah,
of a debate. Like that long time, stuck through the
yep,
dark years,
yeah,
reliable defense. Obviously, Riley. Has not been
fallen
the
off a
same
bit.
defenseman in a long time.
Yeah,
I think Morgan Riley is going to get traded this offseason, but that's
yeah,
neither here nor there. I
yeah,
think Stutzla is your guy. I think you give it to the German.
yeah,
And honestly, I think that's what the Sens will do
yeah,
is give it to Stutzla.
yeah. I agree with that. I could agree with that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So again, let's stick with the theme of captains. We touched on it a
Hmm.
little bit. Larkin. So
Yeah,
he hasn't been traded yet. I think it's safe to say he's going to. I just feel like
100%.
yeah, I just feel like Detroit's kind of they've probably got a few different offers on the table. I'm curious. I don't know if Florida's still in the mix. I want to say they're not.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Yeah, they don't really have the assets. I honestly, I originally thought for
Or
sure
the
that's
cap
where he was going to
space.
go. Yeah, I thought that's where he was going to go, and then obviously they pivoted to Kachuk. But my front runner now is Minnesota. I think.
I completely agree.
I think they got to be.
Uh,
Carolina's interesting too. They could easily.
Very.
I'd be a crazy piece if they picked them up. Um,
Both
but
make
I,
so
I
much sense.
I feel like Carolina is like in the position where you don't need to not add on, but you don't need to make drastic changes if it's not needed. Like you're coming off a cup, like keep the same group, maybe add a few depth pieces, like run it back. You know what I mean?
They
So
have the cap space.
yeah, which is scary, like extremely scary. But
Everyone has the cap space now with the cap going up the way it
yeah,
is. Like
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
yeah, we're gonna see
I,
Alex Tuck get 13 million this
oh, it's going
offseason.
to be ridiculous. I think that Minnesota is makes too much sense. I've
Yeah,
thought about this a lot. You see people on Twitter say the same thing. Minnesota, more than any of those other teams, needs a center desperately. They were down to Danila Yurov as their 1C in the playoffs and Michael McCarron playing first round minutes.
yeah,
That's not acceptable.
no, not at all. Yeah, no, they lost
Joel
Eric
Eriksson X,
and
he's a good two. He's not
yeah,
your one. And
yeah,
Larkin is probably best fit as a really, really good 2C more than
yeah.
your 1C.
But
But
he would
Larkin, I
elevate
think
that team. He would.
100%.
Yeah,
Imagine it with
100%.
Kaprizov. That line is flying. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
it would be too good of a fit. I think in Minnesota has 100% as the assets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Starting with Danila Yurov, I think he would be one of the main
Europe.
pieces in
I,
that
I
trade.
think I think they'd have to trade Hartman for cap purposes. I'm pretty sure he's
Yeah,
still under contract, right? For at least another year.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
If
And
I'm not mistaken, his AV is like 4 million range. So
it's 4 or 5. It's
something like
something
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Hartman, your first line center in Minnesota, you just traded for Quinn Hughes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's yeah. So it's
And
kind of
like you
poor
had Marco
asset management.
Rossi, but Marco Rossi, they didn't like his height. They didn't like his game. He's playing too small of a game for them. That's
Yeah.
why they got a guy like Michael McCarron
Yeah.
or a guy like Yakov Trenin on that team. Like
Yeah.
it's Minnesota, I think, needs Larkin the most.
Yeah.
I think Vegas low key makes a lot of sense. There's
Yeah.
always this debate. I mean, obviously they got so far, but Marner didn't really have a center he was stuck to.
Yeah. He was kind of floating around.
And they had him at center at
He was
times.
playing center. Yeah.
He was playing center.
Yeah.
Like obviously he was playing with Dorovev and they were like a dynamic
Yeah.
duo. Stick Dylan Larkin in there, and that's think about that penalty. Those two are both pretty decent defensive players,
Yeah. They
forwards,
already
if I'm
have
not
Mark
mistaken.
Stone.
And you have Mr.
Yeah.
Sel. All of those guys could win Selkies.
Yeah.
Marner,
Even Eichel,
Larkin,
man.
Stone,
Underrated.
Eichel,
Underrated
underrated,
Canadian.
top 5 center in the league.
Yeah.
Vegas would make a lot of sense too.
Yeah.
And I don't know about the assets. I think Minnesota
Yeah.
probably has the stronger assets.
Yeah.
But man, I think Vegas is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like um if if Vegas were to trade for Larkin, I feel like they would have to give up another good roster player, which I don't know if they want to do. Like you threw
Mm.
around Dorofeev playing with Marner. I feel like that's someone they would might have to give up to get Larkin.
For Larkin, Dorovev has back-to-back 35 goal seasons, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a guy you move off of it for Vegas.
No.
And I think I I'm also just not a Dylan Larkin guy at all. I obviously hate Detroit. I think after this he's a bum loser just like Brady is.
Yeah.
I think he's a good set 2C, but I think Dorovev you can't move off of him. I think Vegas could make a lot of sense. I said again, like you're saying, they'd have to give up a guy like maybe a Tomas Hurdle,
Yeah.
like a
And
guy
again,
like that.
is that even going to be somebody Detroit wants in
No,
return? No.
exactly. And like they might want that young hotshot guy like a Danila Yurov
Yeah.
is, who is a really good young little player. Like he wouldn't be the only package. They'd have to throw in some other things,
Yeah.
but it'd be very interesting for sure.
Yeah, and even on Minnesota's back end, like they've got good defensive depth and David
Oh yeah.
Juracek, is that how you say it? Juracek?
Yeah. Didn't
Yeah,
he get moved? Is he still there?
I'm pretty sure. I feel like he is, unless he got traded because
Yeah.
he was
He
on
was there.
Columbus,
I
right?
thought he got, yeah, I know. He was on Columbus. Then he went, I'm pretty sure he's on Philly. He got traded for Bobby Brink.
Oh, you're right. You are
The
right.
deadline.
Okay,
Yeah. I think,
yes,
yeah. Very small
right.
move from last deadline. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I know. I would have thought he was still there too. But
yeah.
All right, yeah. So it should be interesting to see where Larkin ends up going, especially considering he has like full control over where he goes.
yep.
But let's talk about another big piece that recently got moved. Darren Radish is a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Yeah.
Very
I mean,
interesting.
despite what people may look, again, like I said, I'm the biggest Leaf hater. You'll meet
Yeah,
anyone who knows me knows I despise the Leafs. I can't help but think this is a really good move.
yeah,
Um, I've been yelling, and screaming that Darren Radish is the Leafs drum the entire year. I thought it's such a good fit. The
yeah,
Leafs have not had a right-handed shot defenseman this good in forever.
yeah. Like
I
it's been so long.
you can't think of it. Like
Yeah,
I was even watching the Steve Dangle podcast. They were talking about it, and they're throwing out names I like didn't even know played for the Leafs.
yeah,
I'm like, okay, we're going back to like years, anyways.
yeah.
But Darren Radish is exactly what the Leafs need. They need that offensive defenseman,
Mhm.
power play quarterback, shot from the point guy,
Yeah.
and I think it just is a great move.
Yeah, and yeah, like and even just taking away the aspect of him being like the right shot, like they have just lacked a good offensive defenseman for so long. And I'm not knocking on Riley. The best part of his game is his offense, but it's not on Radish's level. Like the last time we saw Riley be like very effective on offense was
2018,
20 the first year Tavares was here, and he scored 20 goals that year.
20
And
goals,
like, I
70,
mean,
72, 71
I
points as well,
believe,
something
yeah,
around that range.
something like that. That is a great season. And from there, everybody thought he was going to enter his prime and like he'd be like a consistent, finish in the top 10 scoring on defense every year. And unfortunately, he just didn't become that guy. I feel like um on certain due to certain circumstances, he had to probably focus a little more on his two-way game and defending because he never had a partner.
Look, yes, let's go through his partners just off rip. He played with Ron Hainsey,
And
old ancient
Ron
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 Hainsey,
Hainsey was the best partner he
his
had.
best partner. It's
The best
insane.
partner he had.
Otherwise, I remember he would have shifts with Martin Marincin,
He had
like
Nikita Zaitsev for a season.
Nikita Zaitsev. As a Sens fan, one of my least favorite Sens ever,
Like,
up there with so many that I could get into that forever. But I hate Nikita Zaitsev. He's awful. Um, him and Tyson Berry was disgusting. Never
yeah,
should have happened.
awful.
Um, and GJ Brody, good, decent,
Yep.
fine.
First
Brandon
2 years,
Carlo
great.
and Brandon Carlo and him have been a disaster
Yeah,
this last year. Brandon Carlo, we can get is a
mhm,
whole other thing. Hasn't scored a goal for the Leafs.
yeah,
Hasn't scored a goal in 2 years. Uh, yeah, Riley. I think Riley's gone, but I think Riley's
yeah,
best trait was his puck moving
yeah.
and his transitionary ability.
Hmm.
He had his peak that was years ago. Radish's shot is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He has one of
Radish's shot alone, like outweighs Riley's whole offensive game, in my opinion. Like,
other than my boy Tyler Clevin, he had the hardest shot in the
yeah,
league this year. Darren
yeah,
Radish did, and he filled in him after Hedman kind of had his stuff.
yeah.
He stepped in and played his role beautifully, and was third
Yep.
on Tampa Bay in points. And
Which says a
guys like
lot. They have a
Anthony,
talented roster.
yeah, like I think he was third or fourth in points. I think
Yeah,
like you have Kucherov, Braden Point, and Brian Hagel, and then him.
yeah,
It's very impressive, and he is exactly what the Leafs need.
yeah.
I
That
love this move for
like
the Leafs.
desperately. And like again, like yeah, like last season like was an amazing season for Radish. But even before that, like again, he had like sheltered minutes on the power play because obviously like Victor Hedman is like one of the best like power play quarterbacks like honestly ever.
One of the best
Um,
defensemen of his era.
yeah.
Second, one of the top
So
three defensemen in his era. Easy.
yeah, but so like this was like his third season in a row, like playing consistent minutes with Tampa. And again, to your point, Hedman went down, he stepped up big. He ran away with it. And a lot of people are kind of skeptical about the move, and especially the AAV because
Yeah, we'll get
his
into
track record doesn't support it. But
yeah.
I think like this, he can keep it up with the talent the Leafs have. He can
Yeah.
100% keep it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just to get it out there, the deal was 8.5 mil, 8 years.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's what the cap's gone up.
Yeah.
It's less of a percentage of the cap he's making than what
Exactly.
Riley did when he signed his extension.
Yeah.
It's not as much as you think. Noah Dobson makes 1 million. He makes 9.5. Similar
Yeah.
type of player, younger, similar kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
It's the money's scary. The term is scary.
Yeah.
But even if Darren Radish is a 50-point player and
Yeah.
scores like more, a Leafs defenseman hasn't scored more than 3 goals on the power play in like years. Morgan
Yeah.
Riley had 3 goals on the power play
Yep.
throughout the last few years. It's some crazy stat like that. Darren Radish will have multiple. Will open up that power play so much. Like,
Yeah.
what was the Leafs' problem this year on the power play? It was Matthews couldn't do anything because he was their only weapon.
Yeah.
Now you have Radish at the point. You have Matthews'
Mhm.
shot to go everywhere.
Yeah.
You can have Nylander in there. You can have Nyes in there. You could have, if he's still on the team, you could have any of these other players. And I think Darren Radish just makes the Leafs so much better. And we'll go into their other move they made, but this is a very good move.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it really changes the whole dynamic of the power play. Like for like the Leafs have always had like a pretty good power play, especially like when the Matthews era was in their younger years, like their power play was very good.
I
But
remember.
the one thing they always lacked was other than Matthews, like they never really had a proper shooting threat, and especially not from the point. Like Morgan Riley has no shot at all. Like I'm sorry to say it,
He
but
is a noodle shot.
it
Yeah,
doesn't.
correct.
And it's so predictable. If Riley gets the puck, it's either Matthews to release it or a Nylander one-timer. It's just it was so predictable.
Yeah.
Like they had to change something. They really did. And I think this pickup is going to just do wonders. And like it's been so long. Like I'm pretty sure like like in my opinion, Brian McCabe was probably the last good power play quarterback the Leafs had. And like
And you're going back a long
I
time.
didn't even watch that guy play. I was like 3.
We were
Like
2 or 3 years old.
like
Yeah.
that's how long it's been. So I
Like
this move was desperately needed.
the funny thing is, Ross, I remember us 10 years ago when we were in grade 7 talking about what do the Leafs need right now? They need a number one. They need defense. They
Yeah,
need the
I needed
right-handed shot
defenseman.
defenseman. And 10 years later,
Yeah.
it's the exact same thing. And now they finally got it. 8.5 mils a lot. It could age kind of iffy, but we said that about Tavares.
Hmm.
It's going to
Yeah.
age so badly. Now he's fine. Now he's on a great contract.
Yep. Yep.
So
And yeah,
it's fine.
yeah. I honestly like when like we're going back a few years here. I want to say it was maybe the COVID season, 2020, 21, or maybe a year
Yeah.
prior. Anyways, I don't
Yeah.
remember, but Chris Tanev was a free agent. And I back then I wanted the Leafs to get him so bad. I'm like, this guy is Riley's perfect partner. And I'm not knocking on TJ Brody because the first 2 seasons of Brody's 4-year
We're
contract,
good.
that guy was amazing. Like he was probably the best partner Riley had since Hainsey. But I feel like Morgan Riley's game is a lot different if the Leafs get Tanev, whatever, 6 years prior to whatever the contract he signed in
Well, you
Vancouver,
get prime
however it was.
Kristanev. Kristanev is now is still is old.
Yeah, he's still very good. Don't get me wrong, but
Of course, he
it's
is. I
just
respect him a lot,
yeah,
especially after that series against the Sens last year.
yeah,
That Leafs defense. The story for always Leafs was their defense sucked against the Sens last year, and in that playoffs against Florida, Leafs defense was their engine. It
yeah.
was
And that's
fantastic
because of freaking 35-year-old Chris
because of
Tannen.
Kristanev. Because of
Like,
Kristanev.
yeah, and he was
They're
and when they actually did sign him, he was supposed to be Riley's partner, but it was just like him and McCabe were just an unreal shutdown pair that they just couldn't break them
yeah,
up.
they're good
They just
players.
couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, but the
So,
Leafs issue still, and the issue I've heard about constantly. Darren Radish is 30.
yeah.
Who everyone else in the decor is 30.
Hmm.
It's very old. The Leafs as a whole, especially on defense, are really old. I mean, you guys have got guys like Ben Danford in the system, but
Yeah.
you don't have that like next. You don't have that prospect coming up. You're not very
Yeah.
old unit.
Yeah.
They need some youth in there
Yeah.
very badly.
And even like Danford, like I Ben Danford is not a guy that is going to score you more than like 5 goals a season. Like
He's not. He's a good
he's
middle pair shutdown guy.
he's pretty much Chris Tanev. Like he's just
Look,
not going to give you offense.
I'll be honest, I don't know a ton about Ben Danford, but what I do know is that he's not going to be Lane Hudson. He's not going to
No,
be
no,
like
no, no,
some
no, no.
offensive phenom, and that's not what you want him to be either.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's they need to get younger,
yep,
and Riley trade. I think they should really target a young defenseman if they can get something for him,
yeah,
or Matthew Nines. His name's been out there,
yep,
a young defenseman in return kind of thing, like
yep.
something like that.
Yeah, and to your point, getting a bit younger on the back end, they picked up a semi-young defender. I mean, for the current Leaf score, Emil Andre is significantly younger than everybody else.
Yes,
Um,
let's get into this trade.
so I think that's a great move. I saw a stat last year. I didn't really look into it too much or think anything about it because you could take any player from the league and essentially do this, but like Philly's record was like significantly better with him in the lineup. And again, it's probably nothing that's gonna like mean too much,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
think he's just gonna do better. Like again, they need more offense from the blue line.
And he's a puck
Um,
mover.
yeah, he may not have the shot, but he's gonna get the puck up the ice, and that is something they extremely struggled with last year.
Other than Morgan Riley, they could not do it.
Yeah,
Again, for the record, I get a lot of my Leafs news from you guys, from Steve
yeah,
Dangle, from lots of these things. But from what I understand, they needed a puck mover badly. They got to get younger. He's still
yeah,
not that young, but he's still 27 and then and the next
yeah,
and 28, 27.
yeah.
Yeah, well, in that trade again, the full trade, I believe, going off rip was Joseph Wool and Simone Benoit
Hmm.
for Emil Andre and a third round pick.
And technically Sam Ersson, but I don't think.
And Sam Ersson. Don't forget Sam Ersson.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, Sam Ersson. What are the? He was terrible the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Could be an option there.
At best, I think he's going to be like your third stringer if needed. If someone goes down, you throw him in there.
Yeah, and he's an RFA. You got to re-sign him, but if you can get him back on a cheap deal, if Hildeby fall like in net right now, the Leafs have Stollers who gets hurt a lot, and then young Dennis Hildeby.
Yeah,
He could be a good fallback option with injury or if one of them
exactly.
falters.
Exactly. Yeah. But again, the main piece of that trade they got in return was Andre, and
Emil Andre.
I do think he'll definitely help out um, with moving the puck from the back end because last year was a disaster. And aside from Morgan Riley, the Leafs' best puck moving defenseman was Troy Stetcher. That is unacceptable.
You claimed him off waivers, for
That's
God's sake. You did.
unacceptable.
It is completely.
And like OEL is good. He's not what he used to be in Arizona. He's more of a defensive guy, in my opinion, now than offense. But again, it's just they needed help on the back end, and I do think Andre is going to help with that significantly.
Here's where I turn into a bit of a critique of the Leafs. Joseph getting rid of Joseph Will sucks.
Yeah.
He was injury prone, but I still think that he is the better goalie between him and Stollers.
Oh, I
I
agree.
can get
I
in.
agree.
I don't know if that's a hot take or not. He isn't available though. I
Yeah.
get the trade from the Leafs side, but my gut
Yeah.
reaction was like, what is Toronto doing?
Yeah.
But after thinking about it, Simone Benoit, okay, listen, I know Simone Benoit scored the game 3 winner against the Sens.
Yeah.
I know
Fan
that.
favorite.
Last time he scored a goal for the Leafs was that
Yeah.
goal.
Was that game? Yeah.
And and like from what I understand, like if you talk to any of my buddies who are more casual Leafs fans, they love
Mhm.
Benoit.
Yeah.
They heard it, they're like, oh, not Benny, no. But
Yeah.
Benoit, if you think of him as a real player, slow, takes a lot of
Yeah.
penalties.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
You
pretty
get a guy like
much.
Neil Andre, a lot younger.
Yeah, Simone Benoit is pretty much just your typical third pairing. I'm gonna smash this guy's face in and make it as difficult for him in the corner as
Yeah,
I
and,
can.
and I think that fits Philly really well. Like they
Oh
have
yeah,
Nick Sealer
yeah.
on that third
Oh, he's
pair.
gonna do
Either
great, Philly.
you're playing with Nick Sealer or they kind of swap out and you got something really
Yeah,
good going there.
yeah,
We talked
yeah,
about David Juracek. David
yeah,
Juracek could filter in there. Philly, I
yeah,
like what they're doing. I,
yeah,
I think that it's more when people really said Toronto fleeced Chaco, what is he doing?
yeah.
I wouldn't say that. However, I would still say that the Leafs gave up the best player in the deal in Joseph Woll. Um, they're giving up a very
Mhm.
reliable piece. Sam Ersson back in net is iffy,
Yeah,
and Emil Andre is still. We're still not too sure what he could be. So
yeah,
I'd say if we're gonna do trade grades or whatever people do, I would say for the Flyers it's like a B BP plus,
yeah,
and the Leafs probably like a B minus to a C plus. It's pretty even overall.
yeah. I would give Philly like an A, honestly, just because like in my opinion, um, we kind of know the goalie market tends to be a little crazy, and I feel like
Yeah.
what they gave up for, a top 20 to 25 goalie is like nothing that's going to drastically hurt your
And
team.
and if you look at that tandem, Vladar and Wool is a really good
That's
tandem, and they're trying
that's
to
a good
resign
tandem.
Vladar right now.
Hmm.
You get some leverage a bit
Yep.
more on him than maybe. But yeah,
Yeah.
like again, this gets me to Anthony Stollers. I felt everyone like Anthony Stollers is a good goalie. Let me get this straight. But in the Sens series, I found that the Leafs defense was more of the catalyst against us in that
Yeah.
series. And Stollers was just big. He's a big guy, so he could
Yeah.
just stop pucks like that. But I thought Wool was the much more dynamic goalie,
Yeah. I agree.
especially against Florida.
Yeah.
So I think giving up on Wool instead of Stolars, who's much older, has a
Hmm.
bit more injury history. But from what I understand, Stolars was a non-starter. No one wanted him. So
Yeah.
Wool had the things, and now you get a decent player in Andre,
Yeah. I
and
I also feel like like Stolarz is kind of a guy where I think he has two, maybe 1 year left on his contract. I'm not 100% sure. But you know, like you mentioned earlier, the Leafs have Hildeby. I think he's got to be an everyday NHLer at this point.
I agree.
He's kind of growing out of the AHL. And then also they've got Arthur Aktimov, who just led the Marlies to the Calder
The
Cup.
Calder Cup.
So I feel like,
Congratulations.
maybe what they're thinking is okay, we trade Wall while his value's at probably an all-time high. We move him for what we can. We ride out Stolar's contract. When it's up, we let the young guys run the show. That's what I think
And
they're
like
thinking.
Hill to be an Actimov looked really good in that Calder Cup. Again,
Yeah.
I'm not a Marlies guy at all. I would see
Yeah.
it, but from what I understand, Actimov did a really good job in that
Yeah.
series.
He did.
And you definitely want to lean on the Leafs. Also, if you have cheap goaltending, you can spend more elsewhere.
Exactly. Yeah. So honestly, like overall, I don't want to say win-win, but like it's a pretty good trade for both teams in my opinion.
And I think like Chaika got a lot of when Chaika was hired. I remember texting you, "Haha, you
What
hired
are they
John
doing?
Chaika. What are
Yeah.
they doing?" I was like
Yeah.
happy
Yeah.
because as a Leafs hater, I'm like the Leafs are going to get worse. I still am very skeptical.
Yeah.
But I mean, so far, you got rid of Berube, which you needed to do.
Yep.
You made a decision to net, which they had to do. They signed Darren Radish, and who knows what's next.
Yep. Gavin McKenna's
So far,
next.
Gavin McKenna, unfortunately, is next for you guys, and he will. Unlike the last league first league overall pick, torments the Sens. Austin Matthews, 4 goals and all that in the first game. Sens still won that game, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. We
But
all do.
Gavin McKenna is going to be such a great fit on that first line
Yeah.
with Matthews. And um, as a Sens fan, I hope that Jim Hiller, the new Leafs head coach, does exactly what Brule did and lets him take all the defensive zone faceoffs and not score 60 goals.
Yeah.
But the hockey
Although
fan in me
I
is
don't
hopefully
think that
Hiller can bring it out of him.
yeah, I don't think that'll happen only because Jim Hill already has a history with like all these like
I was
Leafs
gonna
players
say,
essentially.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Well, I don't know if people know that necessarily. If you want to
I
explain
really don't
how
think they do. Like so yeah, so pretty much like Jim Hiller, I'm not I think he might have gotten hired with Babcock, if I'm not
it
mistaken.
was either the year before or it was
Or
the
the year
same year in
after. Yeah.
2015.
Yeah.
2015.
So he got hired as an assistant coach to Babcock and he pretty much helped develop Matthews, Nylander, Marner, all these guys. And from what I've heard, like they all had a great relationship with him. And then obviously, you know, everything went down with Babcock and Hiller moved on and, got that opportunity in LA and he had one really standout season in LA, but the other two were pretty mediocre and lost in the first round the Leafs way to Edmonton every year.
It's Bruins Leafs too. Like
Yeah, so
it's
yeah, but yeah, like overall, I think Hiller's gonna do a good job. I feel like he seems to be like a player first head coach, and I think the talent he's working with in Toronto is a lot better than what he had in LA. He's got Austin Matthews probably, hopefully, anyways, in his prime. Not 36-year-old Anze Kopitar. So
yeah. I mean, yeah. And, I mean, I know yeah, you're also a bit of a Kings fan yourself, but
yeah.
Kopitar was still great in his last year.
Oh
But
yeah.
I think that Jim Heller in that one season in LA was good. It's a mixed bag. You don't know.
Yeah.
But he was, I would say, from everything I've read about him and heard about him, he was
Hmm.
a good assistant coach in Toronto.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
players liked him, like him and DJ Smith.
Yeah.
who obviously
Yeah.
went to coach the Sens and was
Mhm.
not good.
Yeah.
But Jim Hiller is a guy who players like, who obviously they Jacob would have talked to Matthews and Nylander hiring him. They
Oh yeah,
had to give him their
100%.
endorsement. I
Yeah.
think hiring Jim Hiller is could be an interesting move. I will be say I am skeptical. I think that Hiller
Yeah.
could be just
It'll
like
be super
LA, like
interesting. Yeah.
stuck in that limbo. And I mean, Jim Hiller almost ruined Brant Clark as a prospect, and
Yeah.
he's now doing a lot better. Like, do you want him handling a young guy like that? But we've seen how he can do it with Matthews and
Yeah.
Marner and all those players, Kappen and Nylander, my boy
Yeah.
Connor Brown, all those people.
Yeah.
So it could be interesting. Again, it's you got to wait and see, and
Yeah.
that's the main thing.
Yeah, I think just the one, like my last thing I just want to say is I think what everybody probably in the Leafs organization, maybe even fans like included, like I think the one thing everybody kind of noticed is it seemed as the season went on and the Leafs continued to lose, it seemed like they just didn't have any rally, and I think everybody assumed that Berube kind of lost the locker room. And I feel like Jim Hiller isn't really a guy that will do that, if that makes sense. Like I feel like this is a
You're not
guy the players want to play for him. I get that
exactly.
vibe.
You're not going to have Nylander at practice shooting and
Exactly.
laughing.
Yeah.
These guys, I think Jim Hiller, it's kind of like the Sheldon Keefe thing where Sheldon Keefe
Yeah.
became too much of a good cop. You might even get some more of that, but Sheldon
Yeah.
Keefe coached in some of the most successful regular seasons for the
Hmm.
Leafs. So
Yeah.
it could be interesting.
Yeah. I
As a
think
Sens fan, I hope that is terrible and all that, but as a hockey mind, I think it
yeah.
could be good. We
Yeah.
don't
I
know.
think
We don't know.
I think the best case for them is like he's the perfect mix of good cop Keefe and bad cop Berube put into one, and he's just the perfect mesh of it all. That's what I think the best
Yeah.
case is.
And that remains and we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to just talk a little bit here about free agency. So it's a little bit of a weaker
Yes.
class. I think
It's a
everybody
terrible
knows
class.
that.
It's a terrible class. It's
And
so bad.
either the first or like probably second best free agent in this class is already off the market, who we just talked about, Darren Radish.
Hmm.
So that doesn't really leave too much left. But there are a few big fish names out there. The main one being Alex Tuck. I'm pretty sure, like from what I've heard, almost every team in the league has interest in him. Um,
Yeah.
Rasmus Anderson's another name. It'll be interesting to see what happens with his situation in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into each individually, but
Yeah.
especially about him, I have a lot to say because he's
Yeah.
something.
Even a guy like John Carlson, I know he's like older now, but
That's exciting.
he is still a top offensive defenseman. Jacob Trouba, Radko Gudas is out there. It seems to be very defensive heavy, in my opinion. Like, there's a lot of good defensemen out there. Even like Boone Jenner is a guy. I feel like he might stay in Columbus. I think,
He is about to make so much money.
yeah,
Boone
which
Jenner.
is unreal. Like,
I
but yeah,
remember on the Oshawa Generals when we were
yeah,
kids.
yeah,
But yeah. Anyways, yeah. But Alex Tuck's the big fish.
yeah, yeah. So. Do you have any predictions of where he's going to go?
I have one team I think has the cap space. It's a certain young forward who needs that wingman.
I know where this is
Chicago
going.
Blackhawks. Chicago
Yeah,
Blackhawks.
yeah,
Connor Bedard is an RFA. You sign Alex Tuck to 13, 12, whatever they're going to give him.
yeah,
I think something like 7 years, 11.12 million. It's going to
yeah,
be ridiculous.
yeah.
Buffalo, I don't think will bring him back. I think
No.
Chicago makes too much sense. I think stick him on that right wing with Bedard. He's his wingman. You still have Anton Frondel on that left too. Or you
Yeah,
stick Frondel on the second line center or Frankie Nazar to the wing. Or you
exactly.
draft a guy to play top. You have the fourth overall pick or whatever. Yeah,
Hmm.
you could draft a guy there. Chicago has so many options, and I think they want to start taking a step forward like the Sharks did with Celebrini.
Yeah, yeah,
I think with Bedard and Tuck could make a lot of sense as a duo.
yeah. But Bedard needs somebody on his wing like that. Like Alex Tuck is the guy who's gonna, he's not the flashiest player by any means, but he's like a Matthew Knies. Like he's gonna open up the ice for you. He's gonna score you goals. Like Bedard just needs somebody on his line to help him. And I agree with you. Like I think Alex Tuck is that guy. And I feel like, like you said, throw whatever money you want at him. Like they're gonna have to get to the cap floor regardless.
And
And
the cap's going to keep going up and up and up. That's going to that
exactly.
percentage of the cap's going to go down, down, down,
Exactly.
down.
By the time that contract is in the sixth or seventh year, like it's gonna be like probably like league average, if not below.
Yeah, and like who cares at that point? Like by
Exactly.
then, Bedard's in his prime, and you have
Yeah.
Frontel's in his prime and whatnot. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
um, I think that move makes too much sense. Yeah. Do you have a different team in mind, or are you set on Chicago?
I honestly I was thinking the Blackhawks too, just because again it
Hmm.
just makes too much sense. But a couple other teams I was thinking about. Number one, Carolina. They have cap space
They
somehow.
could do
Like
it. It would be so
they really
annoying,
could.
and they
Um,
low key gonna need centers,
yeah,
which is why, as I said, with Larkin, that could be an interesting fit.
yeah,
But
exactly.
I think that could be, yeah, any of those teams,
Yeah,
those
even
big
like
teams who we hate.
I was even thinking like a team like Montreal, they could do it. They could pull off some
Yeah, they
stuff.
could.
Like,
Minnesota is another team. Like
yeah.
they need centers.
I
He could
want to
be a
say
fit there.
I'm like 90% sure Tuck was drafted by Minnesota, I think. If I'm
Oh
not
yeah, he
mistaken.
was
I'm pretty
exactly.
sure.
That's how I forgot. That's how he got to Vegas is because
Yeah.
so the yeah that story is
Yeah.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
they Minnesota offered Vegas Alex Tuck so that they wouldn't take Matt Dumbo or Charlie Coyle.
Yeah.
And
Like a
yeah,
legend.
so
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that
Um,
Vegas draft.
yeah. So yeah, there's a few other good names. I'm just gonna start rifling them off here.
Yeah, yeah.
So although I know you want to talk about Rasmus Anderson a bit, in my opinion, I think I don't know if he's going back to Vegas. I feel like he might, but we almost saw him get traded to Boston last year. I think Boston's gonna
We
make a fit
did.
for him.
It would make a
I
lot
think
of
he'll go to
sense.
Boston.
Stick him right behind Charlie McAvoy on that team. And like, look, Rasmus Anderson was not good in Vegas. I wouldn't see why they would bring him back.
Yeah.
I think Boston would make a lot of sense, especially with Elias Lindholm kind of connection there. I don't know
Yeah.
what the relationship's like, but that could be like there's that teammate connection. Rasmus Anderson's a guy I haven't thought about too much because again, I really think he was overrated. He also spurned the Sens apparently were really interested in him and he just didn't want to come here.
Right.
So I'm all like, I don't like that guy. I
Yeah.
think if yeah, I mean, I would say Dallas, but they have no cap space. But that could be an interesting fit. They have no their right shot D's are I think Tyler Myers is he a free agent? I don't even know if he's still going to be there.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
you
like
have Ilya
90% sure.
Labushkin.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Right shot D could make sense there, but I think Boston is kind of the prevailing theory from what I understand.
Yeah.
Another thing I think could be interesting is the Anaheim Ducks.
Mm. Yeah.
They just lost. They're going to lose all three of their right shot D to free agency, which
Yeah.
we'll get to Truba and Gudis and Carlson.
Yeah.
And they could really use some help there on that right D. They have a brilliant defenseman in Jackson Lacombe.
Yeah.
I don't know if Anderson's the right pair for him, but
Yeah. Okay.
that could be a fit as well.
All right. So let's do a little like quick fires, okay? I'll give
Yeah,
you some names and we'll
yeah,
each give some teams, okay?
sure,
Ready?
sure.
All right. Anthony Mantha.
Ooh. Back to Pittsburgh.
I was gonna say the same. I think stays in Pittsburgh too. I feel like if any team's gonna give him money, it'll be Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Okay, this one, I mean, he's listed, but I'll still name him. Ovi stays in Washington.
Washington, 1 or 2 year deal.
Another guy, maybe probably similar situation, Patty Kane. I think he stays in Detroit. Maybe Chicago
I don't
renewing
know
him,
about
question
this one,
mark.
especially with Larkin going. Chicago will be fun. I could see going back to Detroit.
Yeah.
He kind of cost them a playoff spot this year. Um,
Yeah. But I feel
yeah,
like if Larkin leaves, um, I feel like Kane, if he stays, he might be the next captain. But
yeah.
it's just me. There's a chance anyways. Victor Arvidsson.
Oh, I would love the Sens to take a run at Victor Arvidsson.
That's interesting you
I,
say that. I was gonna say the same.
I I would say that would be a good fit. I think he could stay in Boston. I think that could be an interesting fit. Just a solid middle six guy.
Yeah.
I can see a lot of different options there.
Mason Marchment.
Mason Marchment. He's on Columbus, right? I think Columbus
Yep.
resigns him.
Yep. I say Toronto. I think Toronto gets
Get
him.
him back.
Yep, I think they do it. John Carlson, I think he
Tampa.
might. Tampa, you think? I
100%
honestly,
Tampa.
I was gonna say he stays with the Ducks. I feel like the Ducks can't afford to lose all three of them.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like you'll get to another Ducks defenseman who I think fits it a little bit better.
Mm,
I think John Carlson will replace Darren Radish as the top power play guy.
Yeah.
2 year deal. Free just reported it that there's interest there.
Yeah.
2 year deal, 9.5, 10 million
Yeah. He also wants to stay in the East.
AAV. He wants to stay in the East.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't think he goes back to Anaheim. I think he goes to Tampa.
Yeah. Jacob Trudeau.
I think he goes back. I think this one he goes back to Anaheim. Him and Lacombe were such a good pair. Um, I think that you got to keep that together.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Um, who else we got here? Pretty underrated defenseman, in my opinion. Had a career year in Pittsburgh. Ryan Shea. I feel like he's going to get a
Ryan
decent amount.
Shea. I could see either he goes to. I could see him going to a team like Nashville.
Yeah, I could see
I could
that.
see something like that. I mean, they love to get these kind of
Yeah.
weird type of defensemen.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, right. Or back again. I keep keeping you guys back to Pittsburgh or whatnot. The
Yeah.
Rangers are a team that could really use some left shot D upgrades.
Yeah.
Like like right now at left D, they have Vlad Gavrikov, and that's
That's
about
about
it.
it. Yeah.
Like I could see the Rangers doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say
Yeah.
Rangers.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna say San Jose. I feel like they need to upgrade
I
them.
was thinking that San
Yeah.
Jose
They
is
already, yeah, they already got Kesselring too, so
yeah, yeah,
um
exactly.
and then the last name I'll give you, probably not one of a bigger name, but Mario Ferrero. Any thoughts on where he
I
went?
think he stays in I think he stays in San Jose. He's been there
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that. I was gonna say Buffalo, honestly. I feel like they might need to look at some other options on their back end other
Yeah, I
than
mean Logan Stanley's not coming back. He was
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
And otherwise, then you got who do you got playing left D? You know, got Connor Timmins on his rough side. Like
Yeah, nah, like
no.
yeah.
One name I want to throw out there, last name Stuart
Yeah.
Skinner.
Stuart Skinner. That's a good one. Honestly, the first thought that came to my mind was he goes back to Edmonton, but that's not happening. Um,
No, I don't see it.
so I think the worst thing in the world is gonna happen, and he's gonna sign with Florida.
He could if they don't get Bob back.
Yeah,
Um, we didn't even go into him and the Leaf
yeah,
connections there. I think the Sens are a team to watch there. They've been a team
yeah,
weak to him. If he is willing to, if his pay isn't too much, the Sens want kind of a 1B.
yeah,
I could see Skinner as a fit.
yeah. I could see it. Yeah. So yeah, so that's probably all the time we've got for today.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining me, man. Like it was a
happy to
great
join.
show. We'll
Yeah,
definitely have to do it again sometime.
100%.
Yeah, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens the rest of the off season and see how things unfold.
And excited for the draft this Friday.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
that'll change a lot, and who knows? A lot of what we talked about could come to fruition in the next couple days. The Sens could get a player. Larkin could get traded.
Yep.
So much is still to happen.
Yep. Lots to unfold and it'll be super interesting to see what happens. So thanks for tuning in and I'll see you next time.